Jesse, what is your trust level in the 49ers this offseason?
Man, Grant, this one's interesting to me because I know that especially you and I, we did a great job of just talking about all the flaws that Kyle Shanahan has throughout the season, and maybe he's got his hand in too many pots and all those other things. But at the end of the day, this is the sixth offseason, Grant. I believe this team has a pure cadence ready to go. And I know that they haven't won a championship yet, but they've been to a Super Bowl. They've been to an NFC championship. They had those early years where they were desperate to change the culture and maybe had to overpay some guys. Right now, the way that I see it is this team has a clear, concise route that they want to take. And they have a core group of very, very good players. And the rest is kind of plug and play. At the end of the day, if they lost really all the free agents that they have, I wouldn't panic. I wouldn't freak out. I think that they have a plan in place. And again, like I said, the most important thing is this is off season number 6. Like they know what they're doing at this point, and I really have full trust in them. It doesn't mean that they're going to be perfect, but if you look at last off season, the way that they were able to bring back pretty much everybody, we didn't expect that to happen. They did it on cheap 1-year deals for a lot of these guys, gave them prove it options, and then they were able to draft pretty well. We don't fully know until 3 years in, but I feel like they did a pretty good job. I really do. I have a lot of trust in this team and the cadence that they've got, and the core group of this organization has stayed in place. And one other thing that I want to shout out before you go is I think one person that doesn't get really any credit or kind of gets crapped on and hasn't gotten any credit for this whole thing, Jed York, man. I mean, let's be real. He was patient, or his parents were patient, either way. But the ownership group was patient when things were getting crazy. They were 3-5. They could have jumped ship. They could have fired Kyle. They could have whatever. They could have killed him in the media. They didn't do that. In fact, they gave him all extensions after 2019. They remained patient when they were struggling this year. And I think everything happens for a reason. And other organizations may not be so patient. Heck, Miami is on to a new coach that they fired Flores after 2 winning seasons, Grant. Like this league is an impatient league. And I think that the Yorks deserve some credit for remaining patient with this group that they've got going right now. And I think it's going to pay off.
I have a certain level of trust in the 49ers front office because I feel like they've learned from their mistakes. Like I don't expect them to go out and make the D Ford mistake again. Mm-hmm. I don't expect them to make the Jalen Hurd mistake again. I don't expect them to make the Jerick McKinnon mistake again. I don't think they're going to – even the Trey Sermon mistake. Why are you trading up for a running back on day 2? What are you doing? Well, I feel like they've definitely learned from their mistakes. And the Javon Kinlaw mistake, drafting a dude who's already got an arthritic knee. What are you doing? I think I give them the benefit of the doubt because despite all those mistakes, they found a way to build what I consider the best roster in the NFL. It's just a shame that they decided to play their backup quarterback all season instead of letting their starter just chill on the. I mean, I'm just saying, but they have the best roster in the NFL. So despite a lot of misses, every team misses. They've really put they hit late in the draft with undrafted free agents, and they have some amazing position coaches. Two in particular, the running back coach, and the defensive line coach. Those guys. I mean, Samson Ebukam, after watching the film, was one of the best players on the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. And he didn't even play defensive end when he came to the Niners. I mean, Chris Kosarick knows what the hell he's doing. I trust any defensive lineman the Niners pick if he's healthy. I trust because Chris Kosarick signed off. Any running back they take, I trust unless they trade up for him or sign him in free agency. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they're gonna. I feel like they're a pretty good front office. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I agree. And like you said, they have very solid coaches. I mean, extremely good coaches. And if they trust these guys, like if I'm going to take an edge rusher, right? And one of the first guys that I looked at was Nick Bonito out of Oklahoma. If they're going to take an edge rusher, I'm just going to go to Kosarick and say, listen, we're going to take an edge rusher in round 2 or 3. You give us 3 or 4 names that you're comfortable with, and we'll make it happen. Like, I think that they should trust guys like that.
Yep. And I think that why this works is because there isn't a disconnect between the front office and the assistant coaches as there was with Trent Baalke and Harbaugh. Like
right.
These Turner is bought in, and if not telling John Lynch who to who to draft. Same with Chris Koserick. So by the time the assistant coach gets the player, that's someone he wants to coach. That's someone he's excited to coach, as opposed to someone he's like, well, that doesn't fit what I'm doing. Why the hell do they give me this guy? Why don't they listen to me? How come I don't have any input? They do have input. So it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy of success.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
And when you give guys like that a hand in picking these guys, then yeah, it does. It makes it a lot easier for them to coach them and want to develop them.
Double R Film says Richie James, and that's it. That's the whole tweet. That's the whole comment. Yeah.
It's because I tweeted that earlier. That's all I tweeted. I just
Richie?
wanted to see what people would respond with.
Do you remember him? I vaguely do. I hope he comes back because they could use it like a fourth receiver, a fifth receiver. He was kind of that.